remember I was 18, 19 when I went to Damascus.
You went to Damascus?
Yeah.
Syria?
To Syria.
Wow. Okay.
By myself. My parents sent me to the Middle East.
And this was mainly because of your drug use?
Yeah.
Okay.
And now that's a whole different story. It's a whole different ball game.
Tell us.
I stayed there for another, I would say, a year and a half. I felt really good about myself. Like I'm with my family, and in Damascus, like you can't just travel to a city and find this stuff. You can't just go and. I never found anybody smoking marijuana there. That's for sure. I would even go to nightclubs and ask people and this and that, because there's different judgments there, different things that are going to happen to you there. You're not going to just be in California and get a slap in your hand and get a ticket.
Yeah.
If you get caught with something in the Middle East, it's a whole different.
What happens?
I mean, much stricter punishment in prison, and it's not like the prisons here where you have your rights and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, and whatever it is that they made sure that they made examples of people so that it didn't happen.
Really?
I never saw any druggies there. You know what I mean? I would go to school. I went to school for Arabic when I got there to learn Arabic, how to read, write, speak Arabic, and it was fun, man. Learning how to take the bus to school by yourself, learning the money system, learning how to talk to a taxi driver, learning a whole new language, how to buy stuff in the street.
Was it pretty difficult?
It was not when my cousins were with me.
Okay.
But I mean, for the first 3 or 4 months, it was.
You went by yourself?
Yeah.
How long did you stay over there?
About a year and a half. So I went to school there different times, and I ended up. This is throwing a ball in the. What do they say? Throwing a wrench in the game.
Okay.
I ended up getting married, man. I met some lady there. She was going to French school. Ended up hanging with her, like her family and stuff, and ended up getting married. Okay. Told my parents, like, I got married and stuff, you know, and they said, okay, yeah, whatever you gotta do, just be a man, man. You know, grow up already, you know.
So they were with it. They were like, oh, happy for you.
Yeah.
Because you know, some people get married, you're like, what? You didn't invite us.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, so anyway, I ended up coming back to the States. Keep in mind, I'm 18 and a half, 19. I remember I was 18 and a half or 19.
Yeah.
So you can't just bring anybody over there. You have to go to the American Embassy early in the morning. You got to do all the citizenship paperwork. It wasn't an easy task. But anyway, we got here. Everything was fine. And when we got back here, I met the same old people doing the same old things. And I had no control over my spirit. I was very selfish.
And you came here with then your ex-wife coming over here to the States.
My then ex-wife. Yeah, so we brought her over here, got her a job, and I was working and stuff, but I was using almost right off the bat when I got back. And
how did she react to all that?
She didn't know nothing, you know. She didn't know nothing. She's from Syria. She didn't know nothing. She ended up finding pipes and stuff, and finding different things, and asking me what it is and this and that. So anyway, there was a shift in like the person that she's with now in Palm Springs, California, is definitely not the person that was in Damascus. That's how crazy I got. And we ended up living on our own in an apartment, and this apartment was our first apartment, which was like a weed and drug infested apartment, so I didn't have to go far to get anything. We ended up partnering up with all the other people and would leave it. And when she sleeps, I would leave, man. Come in the morning and act like I'm sleeping. I was very manipulative, and it was just all fake. It was like a fake show. I thought that maybe if I got married, like this would be the right thing to do, and I'll stop stuff, you know. Sure enough, I started committing a lot of different crimes, man. And I used to have jobs, but I could never keep a job. I could keep it, but going there all drugged out and up for a certain amount of days and this and that, it's not enough money to fulfill what I'm doing on the what I'm using. So there's no reason for me to really keep staying here. I'm just putting on a front. I might as well just go and do corrupt crime stuff and get more money that I can use use faster.
Obviously, every time you come here, it escalates. It's like you always just come back. When you come back to the valley, it's always like drugs. How did that affect your family? Like, how did your mom see you? How did your dad see you? Did it break them? Like, tell me about what you remember as far as that goes.
Oh, I would say definitely drugs ruined. I mean, we have a tight family. We don't have a family that says, forget you, go get out of here. But at the same time, it demolished our family, man. Like, our unity and our wanting to be together all the time, and the stuff that we remember from a childhood, and nobody wanted to be. Everything was a lies from us to the parents, and my parents had to work. They were both working, so it's hard for them to. We ruined everything. We owned a home. They sold the home due to stuff that I was doing, and my brother, and chaos, man, chaos. When you have two brothers, and you and your older brother are using like crazy, stealing like crazy, in cahoots with each other, doing certain stuff in the house and leaving out the window at night. It's hard, man. So it really it destroyed our family.
You brought this woman. You married her, and assuming in Syria, you brought her over here, and she's like finding these pipes and stuff. So tell me from that point on. Like,
okay, so from that point on, I ended up going to a program out in Blythe. It was like a ranch recovery type of program, and I ended up staying there and this and that, and I ended up getting like, when I went to the Blythe, it's a van that we would drive through with all the guys, and I got a divorce papers, right, when I was in that van, and some guy, like the people that they carry, like you're being sued or you're being this, or like there's a certain carrier, someone like that, like a carrier, and he just gave me the things like, look, you're gonna be divorced, like, okay, and I didn't care at that point, even though I was in a program.
Yeah.
It wasn't nothing that I was holding on to, because I never got into it for the right reasons anyway. So I signed the thing, and so that was the end of that. Like, now I can branch free of that whole part of my life, and from that point on, I'm 19 years old. I'm divorced already, man. You know what I mean? I'm in a program. I'm divorced. 19 years old. I've been on drugs since ninth grade.
Yeah.
I've been moved to the country. I've been moved to the Middle East, to Syria.
Yeah.
Now I'm back in Palm Springs in a program, divorced.
Yeah.
At 19,
That's pretty intense right there, man.
From that point on, I went crazy on drugs. That was the only thing I could do.
Mainly meth?
Mainly meth.
Okay.
Took me places I never wanted to go, and I ended up hanging out with people that I would never, in my life, hang out with.
Who did you hang out with that you're like, man, this is crazy that I'm hanging out with this person? What type of individuals?
Different people that are in gangs, gang members. I always ask myself that too. Like, I'd be in a room with gang members, tattooing their set on their chests and stuff, and it didn't matter to me because I had my drugs, and this is like where I feel kind of comfortable here for some reason. Like, I don't know why, and that I would hang out with some people that were just up to no good, they were up to no good, even worse than me, but I ended up being worse than them, in the end, and it really took over my life. The only thing that I was worried about was not only getting high, but having a lot to be able to use for myself and to manipulate others. There was a lot of greed involved with it. If you have certain stuff, you can make people do certain things.
Give me an example of that.
So I'm talking about stealing cars.
A lot of theft.
Taking purses. Taking from my family.
I bet that was big.
That was big, but at that time, it's no problem to do. Now when I look back on it, it's just very degrading to myself. These are the people that fed me my whole life.
Yeah.
So I would ended up leaving, and my mom and dad are still working hard. They're still loving us. They were starting their business.
Mm-hmm.
They had Ignition. That's when they started Ignition.
I'm sorry, can you briefly explain what Ignition is?
So Ignition was a coffee house downtown Palm Springs. My mom and dad started it. My brother helped me build the deli inside of it, Aaron. So it was like a bunch of sandwiches, pancakes, breakfast, frappes, smoothies, deli stuff, sweet stuff. So all the food, different stuff, and it was Mediterranean food. So baba ganoush, tabbouleh, falafel, all types of different food from my dad's side, and then deli sandwiches and whatnot. And we had a big stage there, so it was also a venue. We would have rock concerts, like metal type of head banging stuff, mosh pits.
Okay.
After hours from the nightclub, people would come over, and we would have all kinds of different stuff there. So that was a huge open door for us as the kids to use this place as either a place where we could sell or receive and stuff like that, because we come in contact with a lot of people, and I mean, it was what paid for everything at that place, but at the same time we were sucking the life out of it, me and my brother and I.
And your parents had no idea?
I mean, at that point they were already tired, man. They were tired. They were just trying to stay alive and come to work, and you know, I wasn't even allowed. It got to a point where I wasn't allowed at my parents' house. I wasn't allowed at this ignition because I couldn't be trusted in front of you. You couldn't leave your stuff in front of me, because that's the type of person I was.